Hey everyone, welcome back to Evony with Genghis. So I wanted to take a look at this fourth buff that came out at the K50 launch. And it's really only significant for players who are K48 or above right now. Anyone who's not K48, well, you're not a super whale. And you are not at the level where you need past your 45 and 85 level of seals. So you had to basically have them maxed out. Sure, there will be a few people who aren't at K48, but they're probably people who are being a little more conservative and just building a little bit slower, but they had spent all the money and now they're able to get these seal levels up. So I did some math and want to see just how much of an advantage it is. And the good news for everyone else in Evony, who right now you're puking and saying, these buffs are for losers, for people who spend too much. Well, I wouldn't quite say that, but what I would say is they're not really getting their money's worth. So this is just one of those things where it's bonus items they might have in their inventory that now they get to use and increase the seals and get this sort of stuff. Obviously, they're going to increase this stuff as well because they got to get those up to get here. But I'm focusing just on all of these buffs for now when we look at them. Okay, so one thing that is interesting, so you can see they all change. So for example, this one's ranged. This one is siege. We go over here. What do we got? We got a ground, a mount. So there's 12 of these spirit beasts. And the interesting thing is there's actually an extra range in there and one less siege. So there's 3 mount, 3 ground, 5 range, and 2 siege to add up to 12. I think that adds up. Or 4 range, right? 4 range would do it. Yes, 4 range and 2 siege. So if you look here on this one, it has ground. And then here is range. And then the next one is also range. And the next one will be mount. And then if you go all the way, it's mount, ground, range, siege. Mount, ground, range, siege until the final one. So anyways, now that we've got that out of the way, they all add up exactly the same also. So they start out at 3, 4, 4, 6, 6. I'll grab a few more random ones just to show you. So you can see they all go 3, 4, 4, then 6, 6. Same as those ones. And even, did we get Chimera in there? Because Chimera is the special one. So you can see again, 3, 4, 4, 6, 6. So what do they all add up to? So I'm going to tell you what they all add up to. And they add up to 69% attack, defense, and HP for mounted troops. That's all 3 and 2 ways. Okay, so times 3 times 2. So that's 414% more mounted buffs. And then the exact same thing for ground. So ground also ends up 414 because they end up the same. Range ends up at 92, not 492, 92 times all 3 times 2 because they're 2 ways. So 552% more range. But most people would say the only one that matters is the 92% attacking. And then we get siege. This is the one that all 3 matter for siege. Defense, HP, and attack. They do matter for ground and horse also, defensively versus offensively. So we get this and times 2, siege. So siege ends up at 276% buffs. What would I say to all that? I would basically say that it's negligible. So if you're a smaller player, you're not coining that much, you really don't have to worry about the rich getting richer in this instance. This is sort of one of those cases where they're not getting that much bang for their buck, and they're already so far ahead. If you take the people who are K48 and above right now, all the super whales, and there are some 48s who are not super whales because they're just, old player, lots of resources, lots of speeds, good alliance, and they had the generals to get the Vic column up. So they have coined a little bit before, well, a lot, but they stopped and they had the items, so they got up. So maybe they can't do it. But for the most part, anyone who's 48 can open this up. And they're not gaining that much because they're already so far ahead. You got someone with 6,000 attack. Ooh, he's got 6,092 100% archer now. You got nothing to worry about. You weren't debuffing him. You weren't defending him. You weren't in the same league as him anyways. So that little percentage doesn't really matter. So I'm going to say in the matter of, is this boom or bust? This is a bust, Evony. You should reward these coiners with more. And I'm completely serious. People who are spending this much on your game should get massive rewards. But Evony would say, every little bit counts. They all add up. We can't put too much in one area. But when you do sell specific packs for one buff, they do have the seal packs, right? The Spirit Beast stuff that it does focus on this. People should get a bit more bang for their buck. Now, I can't wait to see what comes out tomorrow. Will there be a Spirit Beast? Probably not. There's probably going to be a new Dragon. And it might have heal speed on the talent or siege HP debuff if the trends are continuing that Evony's selling lately to players, or range attack debuff. And then I do expect a new champion as well. And I expect a ground general combination to be sold as well. Let's see what the event is. Looking forward to seeing it. And like, subscribe, leave a comment.